Attention! Go!
Right, we're off in the final of the Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup. Two fantastic schools. Eton College on the left of your picture, St Paul's School Boat Club on the right of your picture, and Eton College, well, they won the National Schools. They are favourites to take this title. They had a quicker time to the barrier yesterday, the first 700 metres, 1:52 versus 1:55 for St Paul's, so don't be surprised if Eton do lead, but they won't have it all their own way.
They won't. Great start from both crews. Actually, these crews have swapped stations. Eton have been on Bucks all week. Paul's have been on Berkshire all week. They managed to avoid that arc around the island that a lot of crews have fallen victim to, but you can see that Eton, as you said, Martin, very fast starting crew, have already got up to about half a length.
I think St Paul's are going to be mindful of the fact that Eton do go out quickly. Just having a look actually in the time trial race, which sorted out the crews into different finals at the National Schools Regatta, St Paul's are actually quicker than Eton. So Bobby Thatcher, the coach of St Paul's, will have told these lads, you know, don't worry if you're led, just try and stop the move at about 500-600 metres, which they're coming up to in a few moments, and then put them under pressure through the middle of the course.
Yeah, and we've got headwind conditions today, so those are the kind of conditions in which you can potentially come back. If it was a strong tailwind, it's much harder to come back in a fast-moving boat. But you can see that Eton have got to that point now at which St Paul's really need to hang on. So it looks like they might just have a little bit of open water. Paul's have got to keep their heads cool, have confidence in their rhythm, but also make sure that they are on the red line and trying to stop Eton from breaking that elastic band and breaking clear.
Joe Middleton, the 7-man, you could just see him really getting that length out forward, just doing everything he could to anchor the boat for his stroke man, Tom O'Sullivan, to set that good rhythm. Backed up by the St Paul's 6-man, Felix Kwok. Off to Harvard after this year. But it is Eton College, coached by Mark Fangan Hall. And I remember Mark's dad, Graham Hall, coach of the British Olympic 8 that won silver in Moscow in 1980, now sadly no longer with us. But Mark Fangan Hall taking on the family tradition. Head coach at Eton put together this fantastic crew.
They are a fantastic crew. Their blade work is clean, accurate, and there's a lot of power in that blade work as well. I actually saw both crews come off the booms a little bit there, and maybe that's the fact that they've swapped stations and they're getting, the copses are used to steering from the other side of the course. Eton actually were throwing down some dirty water, and it'll be important that Paul's stick close to the Buckinghamshire booms to ensure that they're rowing in the cleanest water that they can since they're down.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to give your crew every single chance. You'd look for St Paul's to be edging back on the Eton crew. We're focusing on the Eton crew, so from bow, Rollo Ferguson, whose brother William rows in the 4-seat. Rollo closest to us with the white cap, Theo Bell, 17-year-old, Shula Bacon in front of him. And then in the 5-seat, Lucas Lantau, Alex Grundy, Harry Stevens, Harry Geffin in the stroke seat, coxed by Zach Mee. And Harry Geffin is famous for being the brother of the Oxford Boat Race winner and GB Under-23 rower Will Geffin, and he's off to Yale, Harry.
Eton racing 34 now. It's the kind of rate that makes you think they are feeling reasonably comfortable where they are right now.
Yeah.
And being warned by the umpire, I could hear umpire Andy Crawford there warning them, and rightly so. You can see that they've come off the booms. They're giving Paul's some dirty water, and you can see the umpire's got his flag out to the left, encouraging Cox Zach Mee to get back onto the Berkshire booms.
Yes, not above a little trick or two, Eton. Do you think that's an intentional move by me, or he's just being a little less careful about his course?
I think he's a good enough Cox to be on the Berkshire booms if that's where he wants to be.
Yeah, it's a good, great answer, actually. So Eton just moving back onto the Berkshire booms. That powerhouse rhythm, 34 strokes a minute, set up by stroke Harry Geffing, anchored by the 7-man Harry Stevens. Alex Grundy in 6th seat, really laying down some power. You can see his blade there. Just 1, 2, 3 back from the stroke man. And then the big 5-man, Luca Liautaud. That 5 seat, a lot of power going on in that boat at 34, isn't there?
There is, and in fact, rates ticked up a little bit. So obviously feeling a bit of pressure from the Paul's crew. Rates up to 35 now, 35 and a half in fact, so they're starting to lift.
Looks like he's moved out again, doesn't it, the coxswain?
It does, as I said. I think 2 meters off the booms is probably where you want to be. Once you're 3 meters away, that's when things start to happen. That said, I think the Paul's crew are in reasonable water right now, albeit that they don't seem able to close the gap.
No, they don't. The St Paul's crew talking to their coach Bobby Thatcher earlier today. He said, we've had a long summer, but I've enjoyed every minute of it. Win or lose, we will treasure the time we've had together as a crew. Absolutely great sentiments from Thatcher, crew of the St Paul's coach. But I think the Eton boys, who've been looking and targeting when Henley announced it was going to be on Eton College National Schools winners, have been targeting this regatta, the Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup. And I believe if their bow crosses the line first, this will be their 40th ever Henley Royal Regatta win. What a record for a school crew.
Extraordinary record. And they win now.
Eton College cross the line. They take the Princess Elizabeth. You can see the celebrations, what it means to them. The shouts of delight, hitting the water. Giving 3 cheers to St Paul's, exhausted. Got close to Eton. But it wasn't to be. They weren't to upset the form of the favourites.